Ayo, we are back. Episode 150. Wow, what an incredible ride it has been. I'm very excited to have on this celebrity injector across from me on the podcast. I'm here with Melanie Speed. She's the founder of Flawless Medspa, which has a location out here in Vegas and in Beverly Hills. And you guys are going to hear some alpha. A new location is about to pop up. She's a certified aesthetic nurse specialist and opened MedSpa in 2014. Melanie, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
We are popping the podcast cherry today. I love it.
Yes, my first time ever.
Which to me, I thought was very interesting because I know you have a lot of experience around TV and media and journalism, etc. So before we get into all that, let's just get a quick backstory of who Melanie Speed is. Tell us a little bit about your youth and then how you ended up in Las Vegas.
Well, I grew up in the Midwest in rural Ohio, kind of between two cornfields, and always thought, okay, there's got to be more to life than this. So grew up, went to college in Columbus, Ohio. And then my husband and I decided to make the journey, move out to Las Vegas a few years later. So I've been out here about, I'd say 22 years. Came out here originally doing like travel nurse assignments. I was an OB nurse for 15 years before I got into aesthetics. Got out here and started feeling the calling to do something else. I'd always loved art and creativity. I originally started out in art school and my mom kind of talked me out of it. She's like, what are you going to do? You're not going to be able to support yourself. You know, you should go into something in medicine. So that's how I ended up in nursing school. And then when I kind of fell into aesthetic nursing, I found it was the great bridge between what was missing in my life, my artistic, creative draw that I always felt I needed, and the ability to use my, medical background. So kind of fell into that, started in that about 8 years ago, started working for a busy practice here in town, and then shortly realized I wanted to move on to bigger and better things and kind of had the entrepreneur spirit, wanted to build my own brand. And so I originally started out, renting space from physicians, and then it's just grown from there.
The life of an entrepreneur. And it sounds like you caught the trend right before this like great aesthetic rush of Las Vegas took over with the rise of the clubs and the exclusive nature and the celebrity life, because I used to work at a nightclub and I know a handful of girls, many girls actually, who go to something similar to Flawless Medspa for aesthetic treatments or all of these various other wellness injections, lifts, restorations. And it seems like there's new treatments that just continue to pop up left and right. Yeah,
it's rapidly growing. And actually, since the pandemic, it's just boomed even more, which was kind of surprising. We all thought with the pandemic that things would slow down and people wouldn't want to spend money on things like that. But it was the exact opposite. After we opened back up, it just took off and it's been busier than ever. In conferences I've been going to and talking to other physicians and nurses in the field, there's more cosmetic procedures, both surgical and non-surgical now than ever. So it's really a great time to be in the business.
And as you mentioned earlier, you said that this area that you find yourself in was a great combination of health, but also your creativity. Is that combination is it you creating the wellness treatments? Is that where the creativity flourishes?
Well, I think the difference in injectors and what I really pride myself on is, just because you have the training or the degree to be an injector doesn't mean you have the artistic eye to see beauty and symmetry and be creative. So I feel where I'm a little bit different and kind of why I've been lucky and had such success is that I've always had an artistic eye. I can look at someone's face and see where the balance is off and kind of where the volume is missing and what would make it more aesthetically pleasing in the ratios in the face. I always kind of see people 3D. So I feel like because I have that ability, it gives me the skills to give someone a more natural, beautiful aesthetic look instead of kind of like a fake, overfilled or overdone, respecting the natural beauty and symmetry of the face, but enhancing it to kind of restore what people have lost over time or just, from genetics. If people just have, features that aren't what they desire or what balances their face the best, it's been a great joy in my life to be able to find something that I love to do and that I feel I can really help people and bring them, happiness and make them feel better about themselves.
So when it comes to face aesthetic treatments, is the general goal to allow the face to be as symmetrical as possible?
Yes and no. Nobody's ever symmetric, period. Even the people that are considered the most beautiful people in the world, they've showed computer animation where they take somebody and they make them exactly the same on both sides. They look like an alien. What makes us beautiful is what makes us different. So our asymmetry makes us different. But if somebody has noticeable ones that you can improve on, so yes, we try to make them more symmetric, but nobody will ever be symmetric. I think it's more about balance and kind of balancing the features in the face and kind of restoring, because we all age. And as we age, our face changes. So it's kind of restoring the face back to, or keeping it from aging forward to where we like it, which is usually for most people at a younger state. So keeping the volume in the face, keeping the face lifted, but also keeping very natural look too, if that's what people want. There's always people out there that are going to want a more kind of overdone or dramatic look, and we can help people with that too. But I would say the majority of our population is just keeping them looking more youthful and kind of reversing the aging process, or keeping it from happening as fast, but also keeping it in a very beautiful, natural way, which a lot of people, I think, with aesthetics, they don't realize that can be done. They think if you're getting something done, the goal is to make you look fake, or you're going to look overdone, or when you walk in the room, everybody's going to know you got something done. And I always tell people the best work is the work that people don't know you had done. They just know you look great, you look young, your face looks beautiful. They don't know what you've had done. They really can't tell. You just look young and youthful and refreshed and happy. And so that's kind of our goal and what we kind of strive for.
Yeah, I can only imagine out here in Vegas with the demand of pool auditions and nightclubs, and now even just a normal cocktail server has to have some sort of aesthetic for their employer.
Models now, because you have to maintain a certain look for the casinos and the clubs. And so it's very high pressure for a lot of women out here because their livelihood is based on it. So that's one of the things too, we find we can help a lot of people with that because they want to look and feel their best. So we can help them, whether it's with body contouring, enhancing features that they have, or just, making them look, refreshed and youthful.
And I know aesthetics is generally a female dominated industry. Do you have male clients as well?
We do. And, the aesthetic demand from men is really growing. A lot of the companies are really working on advertising and marketing. Like, I'm not sure if you saw it, but Deion Sanders was doing a lot of ads for Botox during the Super Bowl and things like that. So they've really tried to bring the men into the industry more. I would say probably about 20% of our clientele is male. But if you look at the statistics and, from the lectures I've been to and things, it's really growing. They're really reaching out to men, and the stigma behind it, because it used to be that only rich, wealthy, older people got aesthetic procedures done. Now it's all age groups, all ethnic groups, all economic groups. It's become, I think, more mainstream, more accepted. And I think that's a wonderful thing for everybody.
Yeah, it's probably the power of social media portraying
definitely
what they're doing. So when men approach you for some sort of aesthetic treatment, what type of treatment are they generally looking for?
I would say most men, it starts with Botox. It's usually the lines between the brows or the lines on the forehead or crow's feet area. It's usually because a friend, family member, a wife, a girlfriend, sister, somebody tells them, hey, you should go with me. We can fix that. You look mad all the time. So let's take care of that. So usually, they usually start off with that. And I think a lot of men don't realize all the things that are available on the market and all the things we can do without making them look overdone or faked or filled. But, getting, I would say probably the lines between the brows, the forehead, the crow's feet, those are definitely the most common where men usually desire the treatment, and it's kind of what they do.
Can you cure RBF?
You can to a certain extent, and you can also create it. So,
yeah, my detriment is that I have resting serious face, not resting bitch face. Everyone's always like, "Why are you looking so serious?" I'm like, I'm thinking, man. I'm just spacing out. I'm trying to figure this out.
I get the same thing. I'm like, I'm focused. I'm thinking about things. My mind is going 100 miles per hour.
So outside of face treatments, what other aesthetic treatments are there for the rest of the body?
We do body contouring. So we have a machine that is similar to like cool sculpting, only it works by ultrasound. We looked at both technologies when we were looking to bring something into the practice. And the ultrasound actually works better. You can treat a bigger, more customized area, because with cool sculpting, they have certain applicator sizes. It only fits you can only treat what fits in that. With the ultrasound machine that we have, it's called an Ultra Shape Power Plus. You can do a small area, you can do a large area. So depending on where the area is with the with what the person wants treated, we can customize it. It's a lot less painful than cool sculpting. You actually get better results. And there's no downtime. Sometimes cool sculpting can leave like bruising or applicator marks, same with lipo. Any type of other fat reduction or body contouring treatment, there's usually some evidence that something's being done. So the nice thing about our machine is you can do it, go to the beach the same day. No one would ever even know you had anything done. There's no marks. You start seeing results in as soon as 2 weeks, and it gets rid of about 30% of the fat in the area. So I would say that's probably around this time of year our most popular because it's summer and everybody's highly body exposed. So we do a lot of that, and you can do it and still wear your bikini and no one will know you're doing it. We also, what's become very popular, and a lot of our celebrity stuff has been on the butt lift. So we can enhance the volume of the butt. We can fill in hip discs. We can get rid of imperfections, cellulite, anything like that. So I'd say those two are probably our biggest body contouring treatments that we offer.
Interesting. Butt lifts, I could definitely see being popular.
Vegas.
Yeah, out here in Vegas, everyone's about butts now.
Well, yeah, and most of the women, just like we were talking about, pool auditions, cocktail auditions. I mean, you've seen the outfits; they don't cover much. So the better they look, the more likely they are to get called back. The better tips they make. It really is, for a lot of women, it's their career, and it's an investment in themselves and in their career to kind of draw out their career or make sure that they're the ones that are in the top percentages that's getting called back, because it's very competitive and it's very hard on them. So anything we can do to help, we love it.
Yeah, when I applied at Omnia, there was 2,000 bussers and 5,000 servers who applied. So for only 70 positions to be filled. So there's a lot of intensity there. It's also a confidence boost of some sense as well.
If you feel better about yourself and you feel like you look better, I feel like you carry yourself better, and that comes out in the confidence you portray when you are going to these auditions or interviews.
And if I was interested in getting a butt lift, how long does that process take, and are there multiple sessions?
Well, it depends on the results you want. It kind of depends where you're starting. So if you want something very subtle, you can do it in one treatment. The nice thing about it is there is honestly no downtime. You can sit on it, you can exercise, you can do anything you want, unless you're one of the few people that gets bruising. No one would even know you're doing it unless you choose to share that. So that's why a lot of women like it, because with other treatments that are available to offer those kind of results, there's a lot of downtime. It's either your traditional Brazilian butt lift where you're undergoing surgery. You can't sit on it for 6 weeks. You have, marks from where they took the other fat from. You have incisions, things like that. So it's really hard to hide. And same with implants. So with this, you can do it and you have none of that downtime. You don't have to wear a garment. You don't have to worry about scarring in the areas where they took the fat. So I would say it's probably the least invasive way to get women the results that they want. And it works very well with life. They can still work. They don't have to take any time off. They can sit on it. They don't have to explain to anyone what they're doing.
This sounds much better than any other treatment that I've ever heard, especially outside of surgery. Why is it just now taking off and wasn't popular beforehand?
I call it the Kardashian-Jenner generation. Before that, big butts weren't the topic. They weren't what you saw on the cover of fashion magazines. It's a new generation that came in. And when you see these women with all of their curves, and that becomes what the ideal is, especially with social media and where we're at with the world right now, it's just become so mainstream that that's kind of the goal that a lot of women want. So I feel like traditionally before that, you had to have fat to do a fat transfer. If you didn't have enough body fat, you were just stuck with no curves whatsoever. So I think with their coming out in their body shape type, and especially the younger ones coming out and they went from being completely straight up and down to now having these beautiful voluptuous curves. What's going on? So I think a lot of people started investigating it. A lot of the cosmetic surgeon in Beverly Hills started marketing similar body types and showing the results you could get with the sculpture treatments. I think that's where a lot of it started. And then just the social media kind of latching onto that, where everybody's like, how do I get this? How do I do this? Sculpture's been around for a long time. And it was originally used for the face to treat facial volume, originally in AIDS patients, because the medications they gave them caused such dramatic facial wasting. So they realized that using this medication would restore volume. So that's what it was originally approved for. Well, then when physicians started looking for, okay, what can we use to give people volume in the body if they don't have fat or things that we can put in other areas? And implants don't give a really good look, and especially in somebody that's really lean, you can see the outline of them. So that started coming out, and then it just has built from there, and it's become more mainstream and grown from there, and it's all over. I mean, pretty much any cosmetic Instagram account you go on is going to have some type of body contouring, butt lift, whether it's surgical or non-surgical. So it's just become very mainstream. And it's probably, I would say that and lips are like what every young woman, it's really changed the demographic too, where our clients used to be, when I first started out in this industry, our clients were, 40 and over, started seeing the signs of aging, came in, usually started with Botox. Now our clients are running in the door when they're 18 years old. They want lips, they want butts. and it's really changed the demographic and opened up cosmetic procedures to a lot more people.
Is that concerning at all to have women who maybe just came out of puberty or haven't hit peak maturity are wanting to contort and change their body?
I don't think so, because all of the things that we do at least are temporary. I can't really speak to surgeries because I don't do that, and I've never really looked at like the long-term studies on that. But everything we do is temporary. It's very complicated, I would say. And if they change their mind as they get older, they're not stuck with a look that they don't want. You can get rid of the filler. If you don't continue sculpture treatments, the body will eventually go back to the way it is. So I don't think so. I think it's really helped a lot of women who lacked confidence, because I feel like a lot of young girls are very, and I think it's society and social media. It's a lot of pressure. And so for the women who weren't necessarily gifted through genetics, it gives them the ability to kind of do the things that they want to feel, to make themselves feel better and give them the aesthetic look that they want. Where we used to didn't have that. You were kind of just stuck with the way you were born and the genetics you had, unless you were very wealthy and could afford a lot of cosmetic surgeries, you really couldn't change it. So I think it's really opened up the opportunity to a lot more women in a lot lower economic groups to actually obtain the aesthetic goals that they're looking for in a safe and more effective way.
And the fact that it's temporary, it could give you that temporary confidence boost, but then that confidence can even maintain or increase without having to go under more treatments.
Yeah. And, aesthetic looks change. The models years and years ago look completely different than the models now. So if you do things and as you age and you change and, your desired look changes, you're able to change with that. It's not like you're doing something that you're stuck with the same look for the rest of your life. And all of the things that we offer, they go away with time. There's no long-term damage or changes to the body from it. So, all the studies have shown that it's pretty safe to do.
Just as hair goes through just as hair and it goes through different cycles, right? Every few months to a year, there's like some new trend. Do you see anything similar like this within wellness treatments?
Yes. And I hate it. The fox eye, cat eye, where they pull the side of the eye up almost to the hairline. So that's been like the newest fad. And aesthetically, it's almost impossible to capture without surgery. And then if you do the surgery, you're kind of stuck with that look forever. So what happens when the cat eye, fox eye look goes out? You're stuck with your eyebrow and your hairline. But that's probably the one I think is probably the most, to me, strange looking and kind of makes people alien looking, but it's become very mainstream. We have people calling our office every day that want that look. They see all this. And that's the other thing I've noticed too with social media. There's a lot of, you don't know what's real and what's not. People post these before and after pictures, and you don't know what's been done by, alterations to the photo
filters.
or what they really look like. So people see all these great and before afters and they want them, and what they don't realize, because a lot of times they're using these threads that they put in them. Threads aren't designed to do that. They can't do it long term. And so a lot of people end up with complications and snagging and kind of a not good look. So that's not one of my favorite procedures. I would say if there's one thing that I'm kind of like, I can't wait for this to go away, that would probably be it.
Yeah, please don't ever make me look like an alien. I'm already as much of a conspiracy
They call it like
theorist.
the fox eye or the cat eye, and they literally pull the brow straight up at an angle like this, and it's very strange.
I could see trends becoming, or the duration of trends decreasing over time because everyone's attention span is decreasing because of TikTok. And I know that's where a lot of the trends are coming from.
Yeah. It's a whole new market with TikTok.
Yeah. Do you guys advertise through TikTok?
We are just trying to get our TikTok account started. It's one of the things that's kind of like on our goal list because we realize so many of our clients use it and it's such a good platform to put your business on. So we're trying to get into that market, but we're not there yet.
It's tough, yeah, especially since you mentioned that a lot of your clients are now on the younger side. That's probably where they're coming from.
And it always used to be Instagram. We do very well with our Instagram. We post a ton of before and afters on there because I feel like when people start thinking about doing cosmetic procedures, and studies have shown this, that they start their search online. They start looking, and the main thing they're looking for is before and after pictures. Who looks like me? And who looks like what I want to look like after. And so we post a ton of before and afters. We post a ton of information on the procedures, what's involved, how it's done. We show the procedures. So we get a great amount of engagement. And I have a lot of patients tell me that's the way they find me. And so it's really, that's kind of been where we focus most of our attention until TikTok popped up. So now we're trying to bridge into that one as well.
And I know Flawless has been featured in a few different TV shows since we're along the lines of marketing and publicity and stuff like that you guys were featured on 90 Day Fiance, correct?
Yes. My daughters and I were like avid watchers of it. We have a reality TV night where we get around the TV and we watch. So we knew all the couples. And so I got a phone call one day. My staff tells me there's somebody on the phone and they said they're a producer from 90 Day Fiance. So I thought it was a prank. I thought one of my kids was messing with me. I didn't pay much attention to it. I'm like, okay, take their name and number. We'll call them back. I called them back and she starts asking me, would you want to be on the show? We have one of our, stars of the show is interested in getting it done. They found you. They want to come to you. Would you let us film? And I was like, yeah, sure. Who is it? Send it to me. So they sent it over and it was Larissa. And so we ended up filming that and it was fun and exciting and different, like anything else I'd ever done. And my kids were very excited because then we got to watch the show and I was actually on the show, which we had been avid fans before that. So it's funny. So we still watch all the 90 Day things and love the series.
What was that experience like? Did you receive more attention for Flawless? Any new customers?
Well, yeah. And it's funny too, my existing customers will come in there and go, oh my God, I was watching the marathon and I saw you on there. So it's been really nice. And yeah, we got a lot of new customers off of it that saw the work we were able to do for her and change her smile and give her confidence. And so we've gotten a lot of clients to say, hey, I saw you on 90 Day Fiance and I saw, what you did to her lips and I want you to do that to mine. So it's been really good for business. And it was a great experience too, just to actually see what it's like to be filmed and be on TV.
Yeah, I'm talking with a celebrity.
Yeah.
I feel like reality and wellness treatments probably have a massive crossroad because on reality TV, most people, it's really about your image and your look, and you need to be very presentable to be on TV, to be viewed by literally tens of millions of people.
Well, and they get hammered too. If you ever read the comments that they put on their pages, they're just constantly, berated and told this doesn't look good, that doesn't look good. So I think it's a lot of pressure for them. And I think that's one of the things that she was really insecure about is she just never had any lips. And I think a lot of people were really mean and would write that on her page and, something that she wanted to fix. So it felt really good to be able to help her, take care of that.
Yeah. And did she come to you? Because I do have it written down here that you've been voted in the top 100 aesthetic injectors in America for about the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Is that where...
I'm not sure how she found me. They never told me how she found me. They just told me that she found me and that they were wondering if I would be willing to let them film if she came there. And I was like, sure, absolutely. But I don't know how she actually found me. I don't know if she found me off that list or she found me off social media or where she found me.
That is incredible. So tell me, what is a celebrity injector?
It just means that you have clientele that are kind of people that people would recognize. So we have a lot of celebrities. A lot of them we don't publicize, we don't post. Obviously, the more high profile they are, they don't want anybody to know what they're doing or want to share that. I feel like the reality stars are great because they're very open about what they do, like Larissa. And then we've also had Farrah. A lot of times she's been a client of ours, and she's very open with everything she does with her body. She also gets a lot of criticism, but she's been very open with it. So I feel like the ones that are willing to share, I feel like it shows everyday people that if you're not happy with something, you can change it. And you have the ability to kind of direct your aesthetic look in the direction that you want. So just, I think it's a good way for us to kind of publicize what we do and show people how we can change things. I wish more celebrities were honest about what they did and would share it. There's a lot of them out there that claim they've never done anything, and you're like, there's no way you can be the age that you are and look as good as you do without doing something. So please don't give women the unrealistic expectation that they can look like you as they age without doing something too. And, it's just unfortunate that there's still the stigma that women feel like they have to hide it. They don't feel like they can be honest and upfront with what they're doing. But I think in Hollywood, there's a lot of pressure with that.
Yeah, we need to start writing disclosures under people's posts, like saying that you've had this treatment, because it is unfair for the youth to see somebody who's in their 50s or 60s looking like they're in their 30s.
Don't have a line on their face anywhere. Don't have a cellulite anywhere. Everything looks better than most people look in their 20s. And they're like, oh, I don't do anything. I just eat healthy. What? No. I wish that was the case, but I don't believe it. And I just feel like the whole thing with Instagram and the filters has really been difficult for a lot of women, especially younger women. They'll come in and, their ideal goal photo is somebody that is probably filtered and, has professional makeup artists and has professional hair artists. And they don't understand why you can't make their face look like they don't have a line on it, and you can't make it exactly symmetric. And the thing I always tell people, you need to go see that person in person, because I've seen a lot of them in person, and what they post on social media isn't necessarily what they look like in person. They're still very beautiful, but not the same aesthetic that's on there. And I think a lot of celebrities has been getting backlash for that. Like they'll have unfiltered photos of them come out, or, where paparazzi catches them what they really look like opposed to what they post. And so, they catch a lot of flack for it. But I think it's good too, because it also shows young girls that's kind of a unrealistic expectation, and don't hold yourself to feeling like you're not good enough if you can't get to that, because none of us can get to that. That's all filters, and it's not what somebody really looks like in person.
Yeah, that's the reality of it. So would you consider an injector similar to somebody like a barber or hairstylist? Like they generally come to you because not only are the results good, but you make them feel comfortable, and it's a warm setting.
Yes, we always joke we're like their therapist too. So we kind of get the same relationship with our clients that I feel like hairdressers do or nail techs do. Like they spend a lot of time with us. They see us every few months. They tell us in confidence. So it's really nice. We develop a long-term relationship with them. How's your kids? How's your relationship? Are you dating someone new? How's your vacations? So it's really nice too. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about it too, is I've taken care of, 3 generations of some family. I take care of the grandmother, the mother, the daughter. And so I get to know the whole family, and I get to have like a long time relationship with them and know what's going on with their life. And they're asking me the same thing. Oh, your kids graduated, or, what are you doing? You're getting a new building. So it's just nice because I feel like it's a very personal relationship too. So not only being their professional injector, but also becoming friends with them and having a nice personal interaction with them on a regular basis is very fulfilling. It's one of the things I enjoy about my career.
The experience is just as important as the results.
Absolutely. And our goal is to try and make everyone feel like they're that celebrity. And that's kind of where the celebrity thing goes back to our practice. We want to make every person feel like they're the most important person in the room. From the time we answer the phone to the time they walk in the door to the time we leave. We want them to feel, prioritized and given that red carpet treatment, no matter who they are.
And I mentioned earlier that you also have a location in Beverly Hills, correct?
Yes, in the Golden Triangle.
Wow. Are there any differences between the spas between Vegas and Beverly Hills, maybe between the treatments or the clients or any trends?
I would say there's a lot more clients there. Our prices are obviously higher there because the demand for everything and the cost there, just all around, the rent, the location, everything is higher. And I feel like out there it's much more mainstream. More people are willing to talk about it. I'd say younger people both here and there are about the same, but older people there are much more willing to talk about what they're doing. They're much more open about it. They're much more willing to share about it. And there's just more people doing it. The building I'm in, there's probably, I don't know, maybe 100 other injectors in the same building or within the same mile radius where I'm at. And there's enough business for all of us. We're all just extremely busy. So I feel like the volume of people that seek it out there is just much higher than here, but it's definitely growing here. I think eventually, you know, as we grow and change here with all the sports teams we're getting and all the developments we're having, I feel like it will get busier here, and it does every year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Vegas is growing at a unprecedented rate. Unprecedented. I mean, you can't even buy a house now with the amount of houses that are
Bidding wars.
Bidding wars. Yeah, that's why I had to sign another year lease here because I was like, guess I'm going to wait next year for a house. Got to wait for it. Did you set up shop first in Vegas or in Beverly Hills?
I actually set them both up about the same time. I started here and I was working for another practice. And when I decided to go out on my own, I decided I wanted to be with the best of the best. I wanted to learn with the best of the best. I wanted to compete with the best of the best. And I was like, where is that? Well, obviously it's Beverly Hills. That is the mecca for cosmetic procedures, definitely in the country. Maybe it's one of the top in the world too. So I was like, I need to be there. I need to surround myself in that. I need to immerse myself in that. I need to have a practice there because I want to compete and be on the level with the best in the world. So I started them both about the same time, and I would split my time back and forth between the two of them. Obviously now I spend more time here. I go there a couple times a month, but I have a practice there that's open full time. We have other professionals in there. There's other estheticians and specialists out there that are there all the time. I'm just kind of in and out.
You are a pure entrepreneur. That I like that you decided to go headfirst into the most saturated market, but also the highest in demand at the same time, because some people will be very fearful of that because they think they're going to go out there and fail.
Well, and I don't know if it's a blessing or a curse. I've always kind of been like that. I'm like, I'm going to jump and hopefully the parachute will open. If it doesn't, I'm really screwed. But I've always kind of been like that. And I remember when I told my husband, like, this is what I'm going to do. And I thought he was going to give me like, try to talk me out of it and like, no, keep a regular job. Don't do that. I'm like, it's my calling. It's what I need to do. It's what I want to do. I want to be the best of the best. And this is what I have to do. I'm quitting my job. I'm doing this. He was like, okay, you'll do good. And I remember thinking, okay, now I really have to deliver on this because if he's giving me the support and then I fail, I'm really going to be in trouble. So I think that, and just I have 3 daughters too. And I always wanted to be like a role model example for them. And I've always told them there's nothing you can't do. The only thing that's stopping you is yourself. And I was unhappy where I was and I wanted more. And I always felt this calling or this pull, like, I think entrepreneurs get it. Maybe we don't understand it when we're younger, but at some point in your life, you realize this is what you have to do if you're going to be happy. You don't want to work for somebody else the rest of your life. You just feel this overwhelming pull in your soul to like, I have to be in control of my life. I have to do this. And if somebody else can do it, why can't I do it? And I can do it bigger and better and in a different way to create my own niche for it. So that's just kind of always the way I've been. And I'm very, very grateful and lucky that I've been as successful as I am. I don't ever feel like I deserved it or I was supposed to get it. I'm just very grateful that I made the choices I did. I fell in the places I did. And I feel very lucky that I get to do what I love every day. And it makes me very, very happy. And I want to encourage other people to do it too, because it is possible. It's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of tears. You get a lot of no's, a lot of doors slammed in your face, and you're picking yourself up off the floor going, oh my God, why did I do this? But at the end of the day, when you finally figure out how to do it, it is the most wonderful feeling in the world. Greatness
comes to those who go out there and take it.
You can't in the face.
Yeah. You can't, many times. And oftentimes for entrepreneurs, you don't succeed at your first shot, or you had to be groomed for years or decades before you had enough confidence or enough knowledge that you've acquired to go out there and build something that's going to end up being successful?
Well, and I think, and one of the things that my husband told me is you just don't quit. Like if you can't figure out one way to do it, you never say, oh, that's too bad. I just forget it. You're like, okay, well, if I can't do it this way, what's the other way I can do it? And I think that's one of the things too, that you always have to keep in mind when you're trying to go out on your own. Just because it doesn't work the first time, or just because you get some doors slammed in your face or things don't work out so well, don't give up. Figure out, okay, what did I do wrong? Everything in life is a learning experience. What did I learn from it? Some of the worst things that have happened to me, I look back at now and like, if that door never would have slammed in my face, if somebody wouldn't have told me no or challenged me or made me feel a certain way, I wouldn't be where I am. So I always try to encourage people, use it, learn from it, take it and make yourself better from it and figure out a different way to do it. But don't ever give up on your dream and what you really want to do, because it is possible.
You just reiterated an example that I use very often on here. I talk about, I like to compare entrepreneurship to climbing over a wall. And obviously there's many ways to go about climbing over this wall. You could take a ladder and climb over it. You could go around it. You could dig a hole under it. You could
run through it.
You could run through it. Exactly. There's dozens, if not hundreds or thousands of ways to do it, but you have to be consistent in your approach. You have to know that eventually one of these tries are going to work. It's like Thomas Edison with the light bulb. He had to run an experiment 1,000, 10,000 times, something astronomical, which I probably would have quit. So props to you for figuring out electricity, man. But that's just entrepreneurship. It took me about three businesses to find success. Although the other failures, quote unquote, had successful moments within it. And then what you do is you unravel that failure, find the success, and then you take that with you along your journey. And then when you find success, for those who have been watching you, you seem like an overnight success, but it's really been years or decades that have been building and melding in your mind, and a lot of the practice and trial and error.
The blood, sweat, and tears they don't see. They just see that, oh, it's easy for, no, they don't see, you don't, and I think most people, you don't share the sad part, the low part, the things. You don't go on and post on social media how, you failed at this and it was a complete disaster. You share the things that are good. But I think behind every entrepreneur, there's been those things. You've lost money. It didn't work out the way you thought it would. It kind of blew up in your face. And I think it's important to encourage other people and to share that, because they need to understand everybody isn't an overnight success. Everybody isn't just lucky. Everybody isn't born with, all the opportunity in the world, and you still can get there. You just have to have this overwhelming desire in you that you won't quit, and you're not going to let people tell you no. If this person tells you no, you go to somebody else. If this store doesn't open, you try other ones. And I think it's something in the entrepreneurial spirit that only people that have kind of done it understand. And I think that if we share that with people that are kind of on the fence and thinking about it and want to do, it helps bring more people to have the confidence to feel like they can do it and they can grow from it, and they too can have success at what they're trying to accomplish.
You can never knock the spirit of an entrepreneur, and the power that you feel of being in control of your own life. Yeah. I'm now about 3 years or 3 months removed from employment, and I have to say, after 90 days, it feels like I've been doing this for years. It's just like this just like overbearing sense of freedom and just authenticity and naturality.
Well, and the funny thing is, I worked for a nurse 15 years, punching a time clock, 12-hour shifts. You can't go to the bathroom. You can't sit down. You can't eat lunch. You have people screaming at you. You feel like your license is in jeopardy. Like inpatient hospital nursing is very, very stressful and very hard on your mind, your body, your soul, everything. You're just constantly in this panic mode, like fight or flight. And so the relief that I've been able to feel since getting out of that setting has been amazing to me and really changed my life. And that's one of the things I'm really grateful for too. Do I work more hours than I ever did when I was punching clock? Absolutely. I work day, night, weekend. It never stops, but it's mine. And at the end of the day, I reap the rewards from all of that work. And I think that that's what makes it different and makes it easier to work harder and work longer, because it's yours.
And you're also exchanging those labor hours, those 40 hours a week of labor hours. And now as you become an owner of your own business, 10 or 20 hours you have to dedicate to being a visionary. You have to you have to dedicate to delegating tasks, to organizing, to manage human emotions. That's something that you don't see when you're a part of the labor force.
Exactly.
But that is also one of the most mentally constraining parts of it. My first business, I realized that operating a business isn't tough, but managing people's emotions is extremely hard.
You know, and that's one of the things too, finding the right team, finding the team that sees your vision, that follows, that will help, and you let them grow with you. You reward them for the success that you have, because nobody wants to go to work and make X amount of dollars and just be told what to do all day. So one of the things I find too is really trying to team build, encourage, creativity, encourage ideas in developing an environment where people feel loved and appreciated, and we all have a goal to be successful and have a great business. And one of the things I love about my office is we come to work, we all get along extremely well. We have a very good environment. There's no fighting, there's no backstabbing, nobody feels slighted, and anybody can say, hey, why don't we try doing it this way? And we're all, yeah, that sounds great. Let's try that. We have a lot of debates in our office, and we're constantly changing things. And that's one of the things I think is really rewarding about having the business, and hopefully the team that I have with me feels that too, and they feel appreciated and wanted and rewarded for the success that they've helped me obtain, that they're also successful and they're also financially rewarded and emotionally rewarded and feel loved and supported at work, and not, just treated like you're just an hourly employee and you're not worth anything. Because I don't think anybody wants to feel like that.
Company culture has been in the spotlight for at least the last 10 years, at least since tech companies came in and shown that you can increase your revenue
by increasing the happiness of your team.
By increasing the efficiency. Are there any principles that you try to structure your company culture around or try to instill within the employees?
Just kindness to our clients, kindness to each other, just understanding, compassion, just trying to do the best job you can every day. And I think that's one of the things, especially in the last couple of years, that's really been lacking just in our culture in general, is people are just not nice. So it's really just trying to greet everybody with a smile and by their first name, and welcoming them and making them feel important and appreciated, and not just like a number, and just, taking time with people and not making them feel rushed through or undervalued.
Less transactional, more authentic.
Yeah, exactly. You're part of our family, and we want you, and we appreciate your business, and we appreciate your referrals, and you're always going to be treated with kindness and a smile here. We're never going to say, oh, sign in and have a seat. You will never see that at our office. And that's one of the things that I think makes us different, and that a lot of practices don't have. And I think that's kind of why we get clients and they're loyal to us, is we kind of really pride ourselves on giving them a higher level of service.
Yeah. When I stopped by your office, I went and got a B12 shot. I felt a part of the family. Three different employees came up to me at some point, asked if I was good, checked on me. I also love the lobby area. It's very aesthetically pleasing. Surprise, surprise. What, outside of facials, lifts and injectables, I did mention that I got a vitamin B12 shot. What is the importance of vitamin shots, and do you do anything else surrounding or vitamin injections or minerals?
So the vitamin injection and the minerals that we do B12, and we also do the MIC B12. So B12 is something that most people are deficient in. It's supposed to help you have more energy, feel more energized. The one with MIC also has a fat burning agent in it. So for especially people who are trying to diet, exercise, get in shape, go to the gym regularly, and you just kind of feel run down and like you don't have a lot of energy to go, it gives you a little pep up. It's very safe, but it just increases your energy, increases your kind of desire to kind of stay on your plan and your regimen, gives you more energy for that. We also have glutathione, which is basically helps your body to detox and get rid of things that you don't need. So those are the main injections that you do. We're opening a new spa, and in that we're going to offer some IV therapies and some more anti-aging things. We just haven't offered a lot of stuff up until this point because we've run out of space. We've been in a really small space, and we've kind of outgrown it a couple of years ago. So we were waiting to expand. So we'll have more things coming with that. We also have our light stim bed. It is a red light bed. It was created by NASA. You may have seen it. It's been on Botched. The doctors on there use it. They put all their pre and post people on it. A lot of the sports teams have it. So what it does is you lay in this bed and it increases the amount of ADP, or the fuel for the cells, how fast your cells turn over. It increases healing. So it's really good for after surgery or injuries, or like training camp when athletes are really sore. You put them in there and it heals the body faster. It lowers blood pressure without medication. It does great anti-aging. It reduces the signs of fine lines, cellulite. So it basically restores the body to a younger state. So we call it like our anti-aging, or a time machine bed, sleeping beauty, all of those things. So that's a really neat treatment we have as well. So I would say those are probably most of our wellness treatments. We are looking at bringing in some more things now that we'll have more space. So there'll be great things to come in the future.
Tell us a little bit about the new spa that you'd mentioned.
I'm so excited. So I've been renting space my entire career. I finally decided my lease was up at my current spa, and we had about 2,500 square feet. And like I said, we've outgrown it probably a couple of years ago. We've had storage everywhere and just kind of been on top of each other. So I just bought a building. It's 6,500 square feet. The whole building is going to be our med spa. So we'll have our offices kind of on one half of it. And then on the other half, I want to bring in, I created like studios for other entrepreneurs or independent contractors. So like eyelash extensionists, we have a massage therapist coming in. We have somebody that does like medical tattooing and like hair, the little hair follicle tattooing for people who've lost their hair. So trying to bring in other services that complement what we do, so we can kind of become the one-stop shop for aesthetics. And then also creating a beautiful space for other independent contractors, because what I realized when I got into this, there's really nowhere for you to go when you're doing your own building. If you can't really afford to rent your own space or buy your own space, where do you go? So the opportunity to rent a room in a really nice, busy, high-scale med spa and be able to grow your business along with having the clientele's already coming in the building, now you can capture them to offer them what service you have, I think would appeal to a lot of people. So that's kind of what we created there. So we'll have enough room for us, and then we'll help other businesses and entrepreneurs grow. So I feel like it's a win-win situation.
It is a win-win-win all around. What area of the city will this be located in?
Summerlin. We're right off like Lake Mead and Rampart area.
It's a perfect area.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the building purchase. I know buying commercial real estate is a very strenuous process that goes through a lot of approvals.
Yes, it was very difficult. I've been working at getting this building for over a year and a half. Started it before the pandemic. And the nice thing that I realized is you can own a building with the SBA loan rate so low. And that's what I think a lot of entrepreneurs don't realize, or a lot of people that think about going into business. SBA has really good interest rates, very low. And so I was able to buy a building for what I could lease something, and then it's a long-term investment and you have a return on that. And that's what I'm always trying to think with the building too. What are other revenues I can bring in besides me standing in front of a client injecting them? So what are ways to get passive income coming in? What are ways to help the brand grow? What are ways to help other entrepreneurs grow? So that was the nice thing about it, is it's really helped with all of those things. And so it's been very exciting. But yeah, it was a very long, painful process. And as I was getting my loan approval, the world shut down, and then they opened up PPP loans. And so what happened is the SBA said, we're not doing any real estate loans. We're concentrating on this, which is understandable. People needed that. Mm-hmm. So I kind of got shoved on the back burner until they got through all of that. So it took a really long time and it was very painful, but I am so thrilled and excited. We're hoping to open next week. And so it's been my baby. I have designed everything in it. I've picked out every single thing. I've gone through it a zillion times to make sure it is the aesthetic that we want to deliver. So I'm really excited to share that with people.
This all-inclusive one-stop shop sounds incredible. I'm excited because I don't know of many other businesses that offer that kind of utility, especially for entrepreneurs to come in that are independent contractors.
Yeah. So they've had this kind of model for like salons. So like a lot of salons, they'll do booth rental or like room rental in a salon, but they've never really had it for any other aesthetic providers. So that's kind of what I looked around, and in being in Beverly Hills, I know there's a lot of places like that. And there's a lot of really high-end places. And that's the thing that I noticed here when I got in. There was not that niche of a really high-end, nice med spa out here. They were kind of thrown in a dermatologist's office or in a cosmetic surgeon's office, but there wasn't anything dedicated to only like aesthetic services and like a med spa type service. So I really feel like we've kind of tried to create that higher level of really just a beautiful, aesthetic, high-end, clean, modern looking spa that you feel like you can go to and relax. And it's beautiful to look at. You can get beautiful treatments there. It's kind of something that I felt was really missing out here. And so I'm really excited to bring that to this market.
That Beverly Hills store helped you out incredibly.
It did.
Gave you the foresight to see what's happening in California because they're a little farther ahead than us.
Well, yeah. And when you walk in, like in my building, when the elevator's open, you can see into other practices, and just walking around. There are so many just beautiful lobbies, chandelier, just very high end, where it feels like you're walking into a place where you're a VIP as opposed to walking into a laminate counter with brown floors and white walls and sign your name here and sit down. It's definitely a more luxury feel and a more spa feel. And I don't think we had a lot of that out here. So that's really helped me, like seeing all these beautiful practices out here and how high end and how really nice and welcoming they look. Bright lights and kind of like an environment where you want to go, where it doesn't feel so medical, which we still have a really high aesthetic, with the medical too, but more of that spa feeling and that high end luxury feeling brought into it. And so we're hoping that's what we have accomplished here.
Without a doubt, it sounds like you're definitely on your way, and the way to just embrace the Vegas ethos of where Vegas is growing to become this like luxury, high end retail name brand city as well. We need to have that kind of utility outside of the Strip, because going and driving to the Strip to go to a luxury spa is a pain in the ass.
Yeah. And it's nice too, because you can go there, you can get your injections, you can get your massage, you can get your eyelashes. And that's the thing too. Instead of going to 5 or 6 locations all over town trying to get different services, that's what we thought is how, the women that are getting lashes are also getting, permanent makeup tattoos, are also getting cosmetic injectables, are also getting massages. So how can we bring all this together? So instead of going to 5 or 6 different businesses, they're going here. And I think one of the things that it allows all the entrepreneurs that are in the building is she has a great business, he has a great business, she has a great business. Now we can all pull our clients, and the ones that are using this service can also use the other ones. And so I think it helps us all grow and build our brand and become more successful as well.
At this new facility, how many people you have employed by Flawless, and then how many spots do you think you'll have open for entrepreneurs?
So we're going to have 18 treatment rooms. And I would say probably about half of them are going to be filled by Flawless, like our existing practitioners that we already have. And then the other ones we're renting out to other independent contractors to build their business in. 18,
that's a massive facility. So congratulations, Melanie. That is awesome. We're coming up on an hour. Flew by. I have one final question for you before we get out of here.
Sure.
Same question I ask everyone on here. What does Las Vegas mean to you?
Everything. I love Las Vegas. Like I said, I came from the Midwest and I felt like I was an alien dropped off there my whole life. Like there's got to be something better than the cornfields out here. So when I came to Las Vegas has been opportunity and growth. The cost of living out here was less than it was in the Midwest. The quality of the houses that you got was better here. The opportunity to grow as an entrepreneur out here is just fabulous. I really believe that there's probably no better place to start a business if you're thinking of doing it, because we have so much diversity and we have so much going on and growing that I feel like I'm very lucky to have found Vegas, and it is my home. And I tell everyone, Vegas is it.
It is. That's exactly what I say. Opportunity and growth, definitely the number one and number 2 answers. And you caught on the trend before it began to blow up, being in the aesthetics and wellness treatment and the practitioners. So congratulations on your success. Where do I send all of the listeners and those who are watching on YouTube to learn more about Flawless or follow you along your journey?
Well, we're very big on Instagram. So we're Flawless Medspas on Instagram. Our website is also Flawless Medspas. We have a ton of before and after on there. We have a list of all of our services. We will have pictures of our new location on there as soon as we're able to get that up and running. So those are the ways to find us.
You guys heard it here first. Breaking news. You're going to have to head to the new Flawless Medspa. It's about to be the #1 location in Las Vegas. So make sure you follow Flawless and Melanie along her journey. And thank you for coming on here.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's incredibly insightful. I look forward to doing this again sometime in the future and maybe stopping by and I can be one of those 20% of the male clientele.
We'd love to have you.
Breaking down stereotypes. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you guys for listening. We'll catch you next time.